Nurse! Nurse! My fingers are numb in the spring cold, and I feel detached from German current affairs. What you need is a pint of Buckfast and a half hour of Megan's Megacan. On this week's show, death in the meatpacking industry, restaurants opening again, and a not necessarily comprehensive guide to Germany's basic pension plans.
Good evening, everybody. It's Friday. It's another episode of Megan's Megacan. I'm Megan, and I'm here with Ex-Berliner Magazine and also Conrad Werner. Hello, Conrad.
Hello.
How are you today?
Brilliant.
Good.
We're in the same room again.
I'm so excited about this. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I've now got over the trauma of coming up your stairs because you live in the sky.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to be here.
In my media ivory tower that I live in.
Megan, it's the M41. You've
its
rolled
own-
the dice in this devil's game. What are you expecting? Something is going to go wrong.
It's got its own rules.
It does have its own rules. For anyone who doesn't live in Berlin and a specific area of Berlin, the M41 is a bus. And it is terrifying. I swear I've been on there with a chicken.
You've been on there with a chicken? What was
Like,
it,
I
your
couldn't
chicken?
stand up in court and say that, but like, I feel like it's happened.
What do you mean? Why are you not sure about this? Surely
It
you
wasn't
know.
my chicken. I feel like I've been there, like chicken adjacent.
Well, why is there ambiguity about the...
Well, I don't know, because it seems ludicrous even for the M41, but I'm also not sure that it didn't happen.
Well, what evidence do you have? You must know if you'd
I just
sat next
feel
to a
like I
chicken
have. Like, that was an experience. Like, out of the corner of my eye, I was like, I think that person has a chicken.
How far away were they?
I don't know. It's the M41. It's always packed. Apart from when it's COVID times where it's just like only a few people, but they're all insane and not wearing masks.
Was it in a bag?
Chicken? I don't know.
Or in a basket? Chicken in a basket?
Obviously, my story has holes in it, but just be careful. Also, wear your masks, people.
Yeah. Especially if you're carrying a chicken. I mean, it might have bird flu, amongst other things.
That's God. We can't have two pandemics at once on the M41. I won't be able to cope. Let's just keep it to one.
Yes.
Put your masks on. Anyway. Booze.
Great, yeah, booze.
I've brought some
Finally.
like celebratory cans because we're together again.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm ultimately going to regret because they're not as delicious as the classics. But here we go. And I got to like choose them today for you as well.
Oh,
so you can choose. We've got a Bacardi Mojito.
Yeah.
Summertime. And a Jim Beam Lime Splash.
From a distance, they both look the same.
They do both
because
look
they're
the
both
same.
white with a green stripe.
Yeah, they're quite nice, the colours on this. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Jim Beam Lime Splash.
Yeah, I know you are, so I have to drink the mojito. Anyway.
Okay.
Oh, right. We're reaching across because we're doing a very socially distanced...
Yeah, I think we're at least 2.5 metres apart here.
Oh, yeah, we haven't disinfected the cans there, to be fair. I'm
Oh.
just going to lick mine. Thumb like it's a grubby street urchin. I'm trying to get into church or something.
I've got some like little hand gel. And
I don't know if I want...
I'm going to rub the top of my...
Right, we'll pass
can.
that over. I should have just washed it in your sink, but we've started now, eh? Oh, God. This is,
Okay. I'm fully disinfected now. I've totally... I am, just for the listeners at home, I am applying a small piece of hand gel...
Disinfectant hand gel to the top of my Mega.
To the top of my Megacan.
Is this going to be really gross and like poisonous? Because
I think the hand gel weirdly, a lot of the new hand gel
It's just booze.
tastes a lot like the vodka I used to drink when I was 16. And
I can imagine it might
bus.
be the vodka that you used to drink. We've got some in work, and it's literally just like you come out of the toilets like a proper kind of teacher from the 80s, reeking of vodka.
And you're like, no, it's the hand gel.
Yes.
But
And speaking of schools in the past, we're now, of course, because we're kind of back to school, and as of next week, most of our year groups will be coming back for some days. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh,
lovely.
I don't know if I got some disinfectant there. But anyway, schools of the past. So now we're getting, like, taken out of context. Our emails at the moment are just brilliant because it's like we're running some archaic kind of convent school. We're like, 2 year 11s have been witnessed unrepentantly hugging in the corridor. I also reprimanded those earlier. Comes in an email from like another person in the thing. What is the protocol? We're just like, Jesus Christ.
Like nuns in one of those stories about nunneries. Those terrifying nunneries.
Yes.
Where children would be disciplined and have their hands tied so they couldn't masturbate and stuff. That's what used to happen, isn't it? I can't remember.
Oh God. Okay. So yes, kids are back in school, touching each other with wild abandon.
Yeah. Have you used a stick? Have you bought your stick?
I haven't got my stick yet. I found a stick in the English room, but I don't think it's a metre and a half.
Well, how big is it? You could use a Zollstock. You could use a Zollstock.
Those foldy-outy rulers.
Yeah.
That is what I'm going to get. I'm going to go to Bauhaus tomorrow. I'm going to get one of those.
Yeah.
You can get them with your name on it, but probably not if your name's Megan.
Probably, I don't know. You underestimate the Bauhaus.
Maybe I do. I don't like to underestimate the Bauhaus, but I will fill you in on that next week.
Yeah.
What else is able to happen now?
What has happened in the world of German politics or Germany in general? Are you asking me?
Yeah. Obviously, what on everyone's mind is like, what can we do now? And obviously, we can do this. We can be in the same room legally now.
Yeah.
Two households
Are allowed to
both alike in dignity may meet inside or outside.
Right. And so we're meeting inside on this occasion, yeah.
Yeah. We
But
were
how
going
many
to be
people?
very socially distanced and very proper on your balcony, but we decided it was too cold.
Yeah, it's too cold. It's annoying. But anyway, yeah. Well, you can do that. And also, today, as of today, the restaurants have reopened in Berlin, I believe.
They have. Restaurants and cafes. Are you going to be rushing to your...
No, I should, though.
Yeah?
Because I'd have missed my old beer garden where I used to
Beer
sit.
gardens, I think, are an excellent idea.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you who else thinks it's an excellent idea.
Who?
Mr. Christian Drosten.
Yeah.
King of virology and my heart. Yeah, so he was talking about this and he's a bit like, not sure about restaurants indoors. And he even went so far as to say, outside I think is fine. You might not need Abstand.
Yeah.
If you know how cautious he is, I'm just like, do whatever.
Yeah.
Outdoors.
Because he doesn't even drink beer from the tap, does he? Famously.
He does not.
He only drinks Flaschenbier.
Yeah, because...
Because glasses don't get washed properly, he says.
Which they don't. Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
So
that is...
go outdoors.
That is,
Go wild.
Yeah.
Outdoors. Seems to be the message from him.
not literally. Although, have you heard it in Holland, they have advised people, single people, to find a sexual partner. One sexual partner to be their sex buddy. I read that today.
That is the most Dutch thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, you're supposed to find one sex buddy if you're single in Holland.
They're worried people are going to go crazy with the...
Yeah, I guess so that you can,
I do think it's definitely been, and I think people have been discussing this, like a little bit of a sort of acceleration on certain relationships when people decide whether they're going to kind of like lock down as one household or not.
Yeah.
Which is going to be interesting in a few months.
What else is open now? Hairdressers are open again?
Hairdressers are open, yeah.
But
I'm trying to think, like, the restaurants and cafes is definitely just this week. Climbing centres. So every single straight man on dating apps in Berlin, as I can tell, will be delighted because all of them, all they do every day is boulder.
They bloody love bouldering.
Oh my God. The amount of people that want me to go on dates with them that involve bouldering. So, oh yeah, you know, let me just do something where the most interaction you're going to have is looking at my arse as I flail around in the air. Yes, please. So
strapped to a plastic
bouldering, I think, is open.
Rock.
Schools are kind of...
What is it about? Why do people love bouldering?
Oh, I don't know. I've never been.
No, I've never been either. It's a mystery. I guess people just like hanging off stuff. It's like fun.
I think, you know, guys just get into something and then they're, you know.
Yeah. So bouldering you can do. I also know that fitness studios are closed, but tattoo studios are open.
Brilliant. Delighted with this knowledge.
So you can get a tattoo,
Great.
but you can't flaunt it at the gym.
Megacan really just tastes of disinfectant because it's the smell. I've put it all over the lid. I put way more on than you, I think.
Oh.
It's really gross.
Oh well. Now at least you're safe.
Tattoos at the gym, Conrad. Are you?
No.
I can imagine.
I'm not heavily tattered.
No. That I feel that's quite ironic when I'm thinking about it because the only thing that I say whenever I'm like, guys are like, oh, let's go bouldering on a date. And my reaction is, why are all the bars shut? And there was they didn't even give us a window of time there where it could have been possible for me to be harangued into a bouldering date because there was nothing else to do. Mind you, bars are not open, are they, really?
No.
But this is a bit confusing because a lot of them seem to be opening for like takeaway and things. This is my point. And I'm wondering if beer gardens are now going to open.
Well, yeah, apparently.
And like, when does a bar become how much food do you have to serve? Like, what's the difference? I don't know.
Like a bowl of nuts, that's still a bar.
Yeah.
If you put a bowl of nuts out.
I don't think we should all be sharing bowls of nuts, maybe.
No.
Is it chips? Do you have to have a fryer? I don't know.
It's one of those questions that we'll have to research before we start recording a podcast.
Nah.
Nah.
Fuck it.
Right.
Oh, one thing is, though, all of these things, restaurants, cafes, bars that are masquerading as either of those things, have to shut down by 2200 hours, 10 p.m. Because I've literally heard someone say this, an official person on the radio. And as I was explaining to you, I only listen to the radio in the morning as my alarm clock, so I didn't catch his name. Because I was half asleep.
But he sounded authoritative.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know if it was Müller, the mayor of Berlin, or somebody else, but they were literally being like, we're shutting you down at 10 because otherwise you'll all get too loose. They were literally saying locker. Because of the alcohol effect, it'll be too loose, shutting you down at 10.
Well, I mean, that's not far off the licensing laws that there used to be in the UK.
That there still are, sort of, in Ireland.
Are
somewhat. There? Yeah, we've got really strict licensing laws in Ireland.
But it used to be that, pubs used to have to be shut in the afternoon. They used to be allowed to be open like in the 50s and 60s. They were allowed to open at lunchtime. Then they used to have to shut for a few hours, and then they'd be open again, and then they'd have to shut again because people could not be trusted with alcohol. This is
essentially what licensing laws in Ireland are around strange holidays, and Northern Ireland as well, to an extent. Like, trying to get a pint around Easter is insane. But yes, anyway, so those are the
new rules.
Those are new rules. I'm hoping it's going to get really warm. I want to sit in some beer gardens, eat some chips.
Eat some chips when
currywurst,
far away from people. Yeah. And in the meantime, while all this is happening, people are still going out demonstrating against the restrictions, like there's some kind of dictatorship and some kind of political debate happening where you can bloody go and sit in a restaurant. It's not exactly a dictatorship if you can sit in a restaurant, is it? I don't know. I think they should have done these protests like, they were a bit late. They should have. They're
in the wrong country. I'm sorry. Did you see what Spain has been through? There were children that did not get outside for 6 freaking weeks.
I know.
And you are a grown adult in Germany. You've been able to leave the house apart from very few weeks. And even then, all you had to do if you were caught was say, I'm on the way to the shops. Like, no.
It's ridiculous. I think
it's ridiculous. But it's also this thing of like, there's no reasoning with this.
And now, not only that, several demonstrations have already been planned for this Saturday, which will include left-wing initiatives who want to take to the streets to protest against conspiracy theorists and right-wing populists. Because up to 50 people are allowed, by the way, to join the demo, so you can go up to 50. But it's like, seems just a bit counterproductive, all this demonstrating for and against things. Obviously, I don't like right-wing extremism and populism, but I don't know if I really want to share the droplets with people who also think they're like I do.
It does seem a bit ludicrous to protest.
Yeah.
Counter-protest the lockdown protest. Like, surely your protest should just be like staying at home and being like, yeah, this is quite manageable.
In other news.
Right.
Now we've discussed that, what is happening in Berlin, and met our contractual obligations. In other news, what is really shit at the moment is that people who have to work in meatpacking plants for no money are really in desperate circumstances anyway, and many of them are from other countries where they don't get paid as much, and they come over here and they have to work for very little money, and they will have to live in communal housing. And now 3 such places, meatpacking plants and slaughterhouses around Germany, have turned into coronavirus hotspots. I just wanted to say that because I think I think it's outrageous.
It is outrageous. That's horrible.
And yeah. And what has happened here is that this whole virus thing has like exposed how like desperate our system is with capitalism and that. Like, we all need, like, we're so dependent on cheap meat and cheap food that we have to
yeah, it's really bad.
It's really bad.
We should stop doing it.
I know. I mean, we should probably stop eating meat altogether, really.
I basically have. Apart from...
Or just make it really expensive. I don't know. But it just seems this system is never going to work the way it's working now. With people eating cheap meat and people who have to pack the cheap meat all dying just so that we can go to Lidl and get a pork chop for little money.
I know. We don't need to be eating like those things, but that is awful.
Yeah. So that's,
and I think we talked about this kind of phenomenon before. Like, are these people who are kind of contractually brought in and are maybe being employed by companies registered in their countries of origin rather than in Germany? So it's somehow circumnavigating.
Yeah, so they end up having to often. I mean, this happens with care workers, I know.
Yeah.
The care workers are obviously also like frontline, very exposed to dangers at the moment.
Yeah.
And a lot of them work for agencies which are based in Poland or Romania or different countries around Central Europe. And
so they come here to work for Polish...
But they work for Polish wages rather than German wages. And they have to live here. And they often live in communal housing, which also it becomes more dangerous in the middle of a pandemic. And that is what our whole system is based on. And they are now even more at risk of of dying than they were before. I just thought, it's something to think about. That's what I'm saying. That maybe we have to think of a new economic system.
I feel like you're trying to gloss over this because my face is just like fallen and I look so sad because I am. I mean, I don't know. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of talk about like Corona's going to really make us reassess everything and stuff like that. And I really hope that it does. But I can't say I
mean, it's happening in America too. There's a growing like meat shortage in America because they've had to close down a lot of meatpacking plants because they're too dangerous to work in. But that's why they all want to like because they're so desperate to save capitalism. Like everyone is, like Germany is. We're so desperate to save capitalism.
Yeah, that's why I've got the footy back on for no good frickin' reason.
Oh yeah, like we talked about last week with the footy on.
Yeah, and buy a car in these times because that's what we all need to be doing.
Yeah. It's like
let's bail out the airlines and
it's all the worst things that we need to. Well, no, football's not terrible, but it's
no, but the like crass commercialization of football just detracts from the beautiful game. I don't care about football, but that. I feel like this is my most pro kind of the essence of football that I'm ever going to be.
Well, it's not very beautiful anyway if there's no one in the stadium.
No, it's bloody ridiculous.
It's just boring.
It's just like...
There's just people kicking a ball. I mean, like the stadium is what makes the atmosphere, what makes it exciting.
Exactly, and people still getting into it. Anyway,
right.
It's horrible. Yeah. Meat shortages. I will say on a equally devastating but maybe also slightly funny note that there's like a bit of a Buckfast shortage happening in certain areas of the UK.
Yeah.
And people are really panicking.
Why? What do you need to make Buckfast?
I don't know what they make. If I knew what you needed to make Buckfast, you think I'd be sitting here drinking a Megacan with you much as fun as this is at 9:15 on a Friday night.
You'd be brewing your own.
I'd be going wild. But I think they shut down production or something because of COVID for a while, and so they're kind of running out.
Can you explain briefly for our non-Irish and UK listeners what is Buckfast?
Buckfast is a tonic wine. Disclaimer, does not imply health-giving properties. Which was originally brewed by the monks of Buckfast Abbey, but obviously isn't anymore because that would be controversial. It's basically a fortified wine. It's a really, really sweet wine, and it's got more caffeine and taurine in it, I believe, than Red Bull. And it's about 11%. And it is wild.
So it's like an ancient formula for Red Bull and vodka.
Getting absolutely mangled. Yes.
Wow.
It gets you drunk the way you used to get drunk when you were like 14.
Oh. It reminds you of the good old days.
The good old days.
When you were still underage and you could get drunk.
Yes.
there's
Anyway, so I feel like we're going off on a bit of a tangent.
That's all right. This whole show is going to be tangents, I'm afraid.
It is going to be a bit tangential? No. Is that a word?
Yeah.
More booze for me.
Tangential. It is. That will do as the word until we think
Will we talk about
the right one.
Because what we do really well, I think, when we're a bit drunk and on a tangent anyway, is talk about economic policy. Yeah. Will we do that?
Yeah. Let's clarify the German pension system, because
do you think
obviously
don't set us up to fail.
This is now the moment where we have established ourselves as an authority on
everything,
and particularly the German pension system, because it has been in the news this week. Right.
Please continue.
So, the SPD wants to introduce a basic pension.
Right.
Particularly Finance Minister Olaf Schultz and the Labour Minister. Do you know what his name is?
No.
I like his name because it is alliterative. I'm into alliterative
I like Olaf
names.
Schultz as well because he sounds a bit like a Disney character or something.
Yeah. It's Hubertus Heil.
Hubertus Heil.
Yeah, I just think alliterative names are kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so they have come up with this plan for a basic pension. So old people.
You need to explain what a pension is to me.
Get a certain amount of money, and it's supposed to be less bureaucratic, and so save money for the state in the long run.
Right.
And they had a debate about it today in the Bundestag. But unfortunately, the SPD is not the leader of the government. It is the CDU under Angela Merkel, and the CDU.
We're really going back to basics, everybody, today.
Yeah.
Clutching at straws here on Megacan.
And the CDU has had a right old strop at the SPD about the basic pension and said, you have not costed this effectively. You have not done your homework. They took on the CDU under Ralph Brinkhaus. He's the parliamentary leader of the CDU. He took on a sort of schoolmasterly tone towards Olaf Schultz, the finance minister, and said,
how that feels, Ralph.
And he said, you've not costed this effectively, and not only that, we have had to bail out so many parts of the economy because of the coronavirus that we can't afford it. So how are you going to pay for this? It will cost apparently between 1.3 and 1.6 billion euros a year between 2021 and 2025 when it will be introduced, which I guess is a lot of money. I don't know, it's just numbers.
I was going to ask you, is that a lot? Like, how much does Germany going to bail out the airlines for?
I don't know.
How much is Lufthansa getting?
Well, I think a yearly budget in the German economy is something like 85 billion euros. So it's only like one of those. So it is a lot. It's a lot of money, but it's not like so if you pay for everything that the state spends in a year,
yes, that's 85. So it's 1/85th.
Yeah.
As you frantically Google whether we're like a degree of 10 out on that or something.
There is the record budget. I do talk about something else for a minute. Everything's fine.
My Megacan.
Oh, no,
I've sort
sorry.
of got
Okay.
the scent of disinfectant off
No,
it.
I totally did it after.
Maybe the people want to hear about my Megacan.
Well, it was not 80. I'm talking bollocks. It's 356 billion euros a year.
Fuck, you were well out, mate.
So it's about 4 times as much as I said.
Right.
So anyway, so numbers
1 billion
are complicated.
for like old people seems okay then. Every year.
Yeah, it's not that much when you think about it.
Which
1.6.
maybe we should have before we hit record.
So, for last year, the budget was 356.4 billion euros. Anyway, but there's generally a problem because Germany is going into recession, as it was officially confirmed today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of the coronavirus. And that also has the knock-on effect that there will be much less tax revenue. So the state won't have as much money to spend on pensions.
Okay. Yeah, it is a terribly, terribly, terribly difficult time for a lot of people financially. Yeah. Any good news?
I don't know. What, someone squirrel got his head stuck in a manhole?
No, I was going to talk literally about the thing that we talked about, which is good news for people who've been financially affected by coronavirus. Yeah. Which is one of the things
I thought you wanted a light story at the end of the show.
Oh my God.
I thought you wanted like a,
What's happened to us?
Like
I think we're just excited because we're in the same room. I think it's overwhelming. I'm overwhelmed.
I just thought you wanted a story about like,
God, that disinfectant on the mojito, like I can't.
Are you sure it's not the mojito that you're tasting?
No, because the mojito actually, as the sort of more fancier cocktail ones go, the Bacardi mojito I think is quite nice. How's your Jim Beam Lime Splash?
Fine, it only tastes slightly of hand gel.
I put way more on mine, I think.
Yeah. I think it's okay. Kurzarbeitergeld. The Bundestag has passed a raise of for Kurzarbeitergeld.
Do you want to explain what that is?
That is money for employees whose hours have been reduced because of the coronavirus. And the state will now pay 70% of their net income from the 4th month onwards. And after 6 months, it will be raised to 80%. The Left Party says this isn't enough, but what are you going to do? That's it. That's just going to have to be... they've decided it now, so there's no point. There's no much point complaining, is there? You can complain all you like.
Wowee! You've gone from bleeding heart liberal to reactionary very quickly.
Well, I don't know.
All it takes is, that's the thing with a Jim Beam lime splash.
Yeah, it turns you more conservative.
It's delicious, but that Jim Beam, the old plantation person from somewhere, I don't know. That's how I imagine who drinks Jim Beam. Okay.
Right. I think that's all the news. I think we covered everything. I think
that's all the news.
I think we've.
That's not even remotely close to what people know. Just listen to Radio Schmidt.
You just listen to the other podcast about the news.
Fuck.
I think we covered most of it.
We poorly covered about 3.5 news stories.
Yeah, but I mean,
2.5.
you can just tell. Just go outside. Just
look around, people. Do your homework. What? God, we're exhausted. To inform you of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I do like this Mega.
Yeah.
Oh God, my tummy hurts. I've been doing lots of exercises in lockdown. It's appalling.
Okay. Well, good.
Are we done?
Yes.
That was wonderful. Do you have any other news?
No, Jesus. What do you want from me?
Just personal news. Anything to discuss?
Fuck. It's stressful enough as it is. I was thinking more news. I don't know. Don't ask me to explain bloody, any more state pensions or anything like that.
Okay. I
don't have any personal news, no.
Point taken. If by some chance of whatever you're still with us, thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Conrad.
Yeah. We'll work on the structure for the next show a little bit more. I think it was more of a kind of a stream of consciousness podcast.
Yeah,
I think structure's a bit
to see each other.
Yeah.
And I'm also now quite tipsy.
I think
also, maybe it's the disinfectant. We've been adding. Hang on. Here we go. Jesus, it's 45% ethanol.
Oh, there you go. You see,
sloughed on top of our Megas. There we go.
Yeah.
There. Well, sorry guys, you can blame DM.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much, Conrad. Thank you guys for listening. Stay safe. Stay outside as much as you can.
Yeah.
Have fun.
And if you're hungry after your Megacan, you could have the best chicken burger in Berlin, apparently.
I didn't mention that on this podcast. That was when we were talking before.
Oh, yeah. At Crazy Bastard Sauce, they do the best chicken burgers in Berlin.
They absolutely do.
According to the man who makes them. And
who is in no way personally connected to us or connected by blood.
No. All right. That's
Bye,
it.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Stop.
Wowee.